Hi guys. Let's see, are we recording? Are we record? Yes, we're recording. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Fumilola. If this is your first time here, I'm a double board certified pharmacist and a mom of two, and I'm on a journey to self. Huh. Today, this is October, by the way. So we started off this month by talking about 101 pregnancy shenanigans. That video took longer than I thought it would, so we split it in two parts. October, a little backstory before I tell you guys what we're talking about today. October is a month that springs up maternal instincts in me, and that's because both my kids were born in October. So every October, I kind of become a mommy all over again. I don't know if that makes sense. Both my kids were born in October. My dad was born in October. My aunt was born in October. My sister was born in October. My cousin, in fact, when I was in Nigeria and I used to sell cakes, October was that month that I didn't used to make money, but I used to bake the most cakes because everyone's cake had to be, a gift. So yeah, so today, in the spirit of my October momminess, we're going to be talking about pregnancy cravings and what they mean. I was going to do 5, but who knows? Maybe I can do 10. I like talking. You guys already know this, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's get into it. Oh, before we get into it, please, have you guys subscribed? I want to buy a camera. Help me, please. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share this video to anyone that you think might benefit. And remember to watch and like and comment if you want or you have something to tell me. Okay, let's get into it. So I made like a nice table of what the craving is. I just tried to pick like the 10 most common cravings, what the craving is, what it could mean, and like alternatives to this craving to help, or like if you need to see the doctor. And then we will zone in on one particular craving that I found interesting in one of my pregnancies. Okay, so the first one we're going to be talking about today is ice. Sometimes in pregnancy people crave chewing ice. This is like most school of thoughts think it means that you have like iron deficiency. I had that in my first pregnancy. I remember that I've always been anemic, right? I didn't really know that until I was much older. Of course, once you start getting pregnant and all those things, come to light. So yeah, iron deficiency. So most of the time, you should talk to your doctor about it. Things that you can eat to help this iron deficiency: spinach, lentils, so greens, red meat, iron fortified meals, and pumpkin. So I remember that in Nigeria, people used to do ugu, like leaf. I think ugu is pumpkin leaves. They wash and then they juice it out and then they make people drink the fluid from that. It's very high in iron and that should be helpful. So yeah, if you're constantly craving ice, you might have an iron deficiency. So get blood tested. And of course, iron supplements also are helpful. Next thing we're going to talk about is chocolate. So chocolate signifies a deficiency in magnesium. Of course, it can boost your mood, but it's also high in sugar. Alternatives would be like leafy greens, avocado, especially almonds, and whole grains. Let's take a break. Craving number 3 will be craving for red meat. So that's of course iron or protein deficiency. And I find this one to be so red meat, iron or protein deficiency, of course, and then sometimes it's indicating that the baby needs oxygen transport and the baby needs to grow. So it's kind of wanting you to grab as much protein as you can find. Of course, you can eat this red meat. You can also eat eggs, legumes, chicken. If you're vegetarian, tofu, quinoa, and then iron fortified greens is also important. Another one will be eating salty foods. So sometimes when if the pregnant woman has sodium imbalance or low blood pressure, her body is going to be pushing her towards eating foods that are high in salt, just to kind of like push up her blood pressure a little bit or to push up her sodium a little bit. Um, Also, when the pregnant woman is dehydrated or has like low blood pressure, like you said, some of the foods that can help will be like nuts, olives, broth-based soups, so like pepper soups, because usually you put a lot of seasoning in there, and lightly salted whole foods. So let me try to bring this a little bit home. So like I said, some pepper soup would be nice. in this part of the world, they sell a lot of all these soup broths that they sell in stores and all that. Yeah, they're high in salt, believe me, because most of them are in cans and all. But yeah, okay, that one works. Our next one will be like citrus fruits. Craving for citrus fruits, of course, vitamin C deficiency. Your body's pushing you, and then sometimes for nausea relief. So when you are highly nauseous, you find that your body is craving stuff like lime juice, orange juice. Vitamin C is supposed to help relieve that nausea, so it's pushing you there. It can help you ease morning sickness. So orange, strawberries, kiwi, bell peppers. Bell peppers are high in vitamin C. Isn't that funny? And then broccoli as well. So when your body's craving carbs, that's another thing. Usually it's because you need an energy boost or um, you're having like really bad nausea. So um, your body's pushing you towards eating some carbs, or you also need like to gain a little bit of weight. Your body's going to push you towards that. I mean, the last thing we're going to talk about is when I said I'm going to focus on that I found funny in one of my pregnancies, and we'll talk more about that. So, carbohydrates cravings are usually common in the first trimester, especially when you're having a lot of nausea. So you find yourself wanting to eat some dry bread, some yam, some. I remember in my first pregnancy with my son, my two biggest cravings were eba and okra and yam. So yam and just plain eggs. It was. I remember one day I went to visit my mom and she was like, "What are you gonna eat?" I said, "I want yam." She said, "Yam again? You eat yam every time you come here?" I said, "Mom, but that's what I want to eat." And that was that. So yeah, and then cheese or dairy means a calcium or vitamin D deficiency. So it means baby's probably trying to grow some bones and some teeth, inside, and so the body's pushing you to consume more of those. If you don't take calcium or vitamin D when you need it, the baby's gonna take it from you, and then you have brittle bones, your teeth fall out, and that's when you have. If you refer to my video on like one-on-one pregnancy shenanigans, that's when you have moms complaining about their teeth falling out or their bones becoming brittle or fractures in pregnancy. And it's because the baby needs the calcium and the baby's going to get the calcium anyhow that they're able to get it. If you don't supplement, then they're going to take it from your bones. So sometimes in pregnancy, people crave things like cake, baked stuff. Usually is when you're fatigued or stressed or tired, right? So you start to crave baked stuff to try to make you happy, basically lift you up. So for this, someone please eat the big stuff. Who is pregnant to pregnant, not kill anybody. Even though health nuts will say eat things like dates, home baked goods. I like, but if meat pie is what it's doing, please buy the meat pie and eat it once. You're going a human being, right? So sometimes people crave things like tomatoes, tomato juice. This is of course for vitamin C, iron absorption. You crave liver or organ meats, vitamin A, iron, folate, things we talked about before. If you're craving fast food, it's the same thing. Your body needs something that is high calorie to help you out of fatigue or stress or emotional, whatever. There are healthy alternatives to these things, but note that I have not yet said it because these ones I encourage you as a pregnant person to please once in a while indulge, right? Don't kill yourself. You are going a person. I beg, eat the meat pie or eat the McDonald burger if that's what you want to eat. I don't say it every day. If it's coming every day, then maybe eat some eggs, leafy greens, legumes, vegetables. Balance out your diet basically. Sorry guys, I have a cold. So and then sometimes people crave non-food items like pica. So pica is like a craving a deficiency that they talk about. That's when you're craving things like chalk. There's this native chalk that they sell in Nigeria. I remember that I used to crave it a lot, not in pregnancy, funny, which is what should have clued me into the fact that I was anemic almost all through my life. I used to eat this chalk, they call it nzu. I used to eat this nzu thing. It was like an addiction. Little did I know that I was anemic, right? And that's what was probably making me crave it. But yeah, I was an nzu consumer. It was bad. I would, in fact, one day my mom saw me eating it, and I think she was worried I was pregnant because most it's pregnant people in Nigeria that eat that, right? But I wasn't pregnant. I was just craving nzu. I didn't have any iron. Another side effect of not having iron is that all things metal in the house used to electrocute me. If you have a child that complains about things electrocuting them, or you find them eating chalk or trying to eat sand, you should probably get their iron tested. That's just on the side notes from being a mommy. Okay, so now we're going to talk about like the last thing that I talked about. That I said we're going to talk about now. So, the one thing that I found funny, in one of my pregnancies was sugar cravings. So I'm not a sugar eating person, and because of all the fit farm that I've had to do since I was like 17, So, sugar cravings is going to be our final point, and that's because I want to discuss it a little bit because I found it interesting that it was something that happened to me. So, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a sugar eating person, but in one of my pregnancies, I realized that for like 2 weeks straight in my second trimester, I was craving sugary foods. And I'm not saying like, oh, I bite a donut. I wanted to eat candy. Like when I'm in the store on the aisle, I'll pass by the candy. I'll usually pass by that place in like a breeze. But I'll be interested in like the candy, the chocolate. The first week it was all fine and dandy, and I was like, oh, it's just a craving. But the second week I was genuinely worried because I was like, what is going on? And then I got into some research and I realized that when the baby's trying to grow and you're not getting the calories they need or the nutrition they need, they're gonna drive you into a sugar frenzy or at least a high calorie or calorie dense craving frenzy. Right. So for sugar cravings, it can be different reasons. One of the reasons might be that, like I said, baby's trying to grow and can't find the calories too, so it's going to push you to give it some calories any way that it can get it. Another thing that it could be like you need you're fatigued, tired. I was fatigued and tired, and your body needs a quick energy boost, and you're not eating enough, so the body is going to drive you to kind of pick something that's going to give you the calories that you need. Um, Another thing is hormonal changes. So the shifting hormones in your body sometimes would prompt, your which I mean is the bottom of all the pregnancy cravings and food cravings and preferences that you have in pregnancy. It's usually about your hormonal shifts and changes and what the baby's doing. Emotional factors also you're bored, you're stressed, you're missing people, it can trigger you to want to eat high calorie stuff or like sugary foods. If there's a sudden drop in your blood sugar, your body is going to prompt you to try to look for something that is sweet to eat, even before you clock it. Like your brain already knows you have low blood sugar, so even before your consciousness clocks it that that's what's going on, your body would have already pushed you to maybe grab a coke or grab something, grab a drink. I'm not a pop drinking person, so I mean maybe that's why my body pushed me towards candy and stuff that I may not eat on a good day, but I'm not averse to. If my body had been prompting me to drink Coke, I would have known that because that's like soft drinks are no for me. But yeah, so sometimes things like gestational diabetes also can kind of push you to have high sugar cravings, especially in second trimester. So if you have never been tested for GD and you're pregnant and your second trimester you're having like really bad sugar cravings, it might be a good time to check your sugar levels and to check your blood sugar levels. Um, Also, another thing you need to be worried about is consuming excess sugar in pregnancy, especially second, third trimester, can lead to like significant weight gain and can also make the baby much bigger than you wanted it to be. Right. So, like I said, in that sugar craving period, my stomach doubled in size. Basically, it doubled in size because before nothing was showing and everything, and then after those 2 weeks, there was a there was a vast improvement in the sizing of my abdomen. So yeah, I guess the baby needed to gain weight and all that. So to close this video, one of the things I'm going to say is Mother Nature is very intentional about continuing the next generation. What that means is that when you're pregnant, Mother Nature's focus switches away from you and towards the baby. If you don't eat, you are going to lose nutrition for that baby to get nourished. Just take it that way. Placenta, which we have now discovered is from the father, to surprise, will suck away everything that it needs to suck away from you to feed the baby and make sure that baby gets what the baby needs. When you're pregnant, you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, you want to make sure that you're supplementing, you want to make sure that you're getting blood work done and all that. So like you need to be sure that you're nourishing yourself, right? Otherwise it's gonna take it away from you. So in pregnancy, while cravings can be fascinating and funny and all that, and we're all talking about it. So in pregnancy, while cravings can be fascinating and funny, and oh, we're all laughing about it, like it's not always that, right? So you always need to make sure that you talk to a doctor, or at least you start noticing when things are going out of place. It can be nutritional deficiencies, dehydration, emotional stress, or underlying medical conditions. So if you're experiencing struggle or usual cravings, especially food or non-food cravings, that one is even worse. You need to talk to a doctor about it, and you also need to make sure that you're on top of things, like I said, supplementing, eating regularly, little meals at intervals. Don't starve yourself and don't overindulge. May the odds ever be in your favor in this battle to continue. to continue life that we have been bestowed, you know. So see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye guys, always appreciate your time.